Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Run It Back. My name is Remko Rinkema, and thank you all so much once again for joining me for another viewing party. We're watching high stakes poker. We're diving in hard, and as you guys can tell, I still have the box open for the guest, but sadly, no guest on the show today. But what we do have is tons of high stakes poker action. Maybe a guest will magically pop up. We'll see. And let me fix that as well on the screen, as I am definitely still an OBS amateur. All right, guys, thank you all so much. We're watching High Stakes Poker. We're still on season 6. We're doing episodes 7 and 8. We have lots of Lex Veldhuis action, so that should be a very, very good time. Lex was on the show before. We analyzed some hands with him, and in case you've missed it, then this is a great way to catch up and to get into the action and watch high stakes poker with me. So we're just gonna dive into the action. Let me know what your questions are. Let me know what's on your mind. We have 90 minutes of high-stakes action for you here on the show today. So I can't wait to dive into that with all you guys and just, have a grand old time. It should be awesome to, see more of the action from this show. Earlier this week, on Tuesday, I had Jonathan Little on the show. We did tons of exciting analysis of some World Series of Poker final tables. It was the 2019 WSOP as we watched the Colossus final table as well as the 5K 6 Max final table. So tons of action from that final table to be discussed. So in case you missed that, I would highly recommend you going back in time to check those out. This is Gabe Kaplan introducing the action. So let's listen in and see what Gabe has to say.
Phil Ivey ran his kings up against Patrik Antonius' aces and got bailed out by the deck, proving once again that bullets are not bulletproof. Tom Dwan went on a mini catching spree and wounded veteran Daniel Negreanu and newcomer Dennis Phillips with some great value bets. Barry Greenstein was unusually quiet, mainly because he was to Phil Ivey's right. Ivey is the #1 player in the world and was keeping him in check. And newcomer Lex Veldhuis took a critical but self-inflicted wound to his chip stack by trying to bluff Andrew Robl. Lex lost almost $90,000 in one hand. And now let's join the action for more breaking news.
Wow.
And there are our stacks.
What was Gabe doing on this episode? I'm really excited to find out what he was drinking that day. For the people who are wondering, what is happening with the latest and greatest and newest action of high stakes poker? Well, we are bringing it back. After 7 seasons, which ended in 2011, mind you, Black Friday, shout out, that we are bringing the show back. Season 8 is coming real soon. As some of you guys might have seen on Twitter and other social media outlets, we have announced the return of High Stakes Poker. And guess what? It's being filmed as we speak. As we are live here on Run It Back, breaking down some of the old school action featuring Phil Ivey, Patrik Antonius, Daniel Negreanu, and Robl, Lex Veldhuis. There's actually action being filmed right now for Season 8 of High Stakes Poker, returning in December. So in December, the first episodes will start airing again of High Stakes Poker, and it's going to be exclusively on PokerGO. I can just tell you already, the action is going to be epic. I actually don't know the results at all. I just know that it's being filmed. It's a very, very small group of people who is inside the room there because of COVID. We had to create a bubble, and I can just tell you that the names are going to be amazing. So really excited for you guys all to see that and the way it plays out. All right, first hand that we're diving into here today, Daniel Negreanu flopping a full house against Andrew Robl. Regular viewers of the show know that Daniel Negreanu is not the luckiest guy when it comes to winning pots on high stakes poker. However, in this case, he's got 100% on the river. Daniel Kim on YouTube is saying, couldn't you get Lex Veldhuis as a guest for the Lex episodes of High Stakes Poker? Well, guess what, Daniel? We already did that. So if you want to hear Lex's commentary on the episodes, and we watched plenty with him, just search for Lex Veldhuis Run It Back on YouTube, and you will find the episodes that he analyzes and breaks down. Today, though, it is just a hangout of me, you, and tons of high-stakes poker action, so you're just going to have to deal with me today. For the people on Facebook, thank you for joining me, Christopher and Steve. Appreciate you guys watching. I see Wisco Baron on YouTube as always. Clay Paxton in the house. Daniel R. Louison with us as always. Man, your last name is pretty difficult. We have Eric in the house as well on YouTube. Please let me know where you guys are watching from, and let me know who your favorite player is in this lineup tonight, because I'm really curious to hear if we have a lot of Lex fans in the house, or perhaps, some Patrik fans, maybe some Dennis Phillips fans. Shout out to the truck drivers. That was an epic scene when he made the final table of the WSOP main event. They all were wearing white t-shirts, and they had the truck horns. That was a good find. Sachi on Facebook is saying, and me as well. Well, I appreciate you watching as well. I really love it that everyone is with me here today. Christian Ruby, yes, this is live, but the game that we are watching is from Season 6 of High Stakes Poker. That was filmed back in 2010. So this is old school stuff, but we are giving it a new twist here as we are breaking it down, providing some commentary, some comedy relief if we can, and answering some questions. So that is the whole point of this show, diving back into the old school hands. All right, Negreanu here up against Dwan, who has the ace high. Clearly the best hand as far as the graphics can tell us, but still something that is quite hard to put together for the players in question. Now Daniel makes a straight. Let's see where this goes.
Instamatic fold by Durr. He feels if Daniel wasn't there already, that 8 put him there, and he is correct.
All right, 2 pots for Daniel Negreanu. That's probably the first time ever that we've seen Daniel win 2 hands on this show. Philip, thank you so much. Cheers to you as well. Hope you're having a great day. I appreciate you shouting in the chat as always. What else do we have going on here? John Hannon all the way from Ireland. I appreciate it. A Patrik Antonius fan. Red Deer, Alberta in the house. Josh is a Negreanu fan. We have lots of Dwan fans as always. Steve Bauer. Alex Montoya back in the house. Appreciate you watching again from Arizona. Mark Norton says, always loved Barry. So solid for so long. Yeah, where's Barry now? That's a good question. I'd love to see or hear from him at some point. Haven't seen much of him. Besides, by the way, in the Conversations with Phil Ivey. Now, if you're a big Phil Ivey fan, we have some awesome interviews with him on PokerGO. So if you want to go check that out on PokerGO, it's called Conversations with Phil Ivey. It is Barry and Ivey talking about all sorts of things in Ivey's career, which is highly recommended to dive into. All right, here comes Barry, $10,000 with a big raise. Let's see if anyone has the hand to play back at him. There goes Patrik.
You got over 100, right?
Yeah, probably just over.
Keep your big chips out top. It's big bet poker. You have to keep it up top, okay? Thank you.
Oh my God. Ivey and Barry is always a good dynamic.
Daniel's going to call with ace-jack here. Generally, this is not a good thing with a raise and a call. To come in with a hand.
All right, how do we feel about this play by Daniel and Patrik, calling 10,000 more with 4s and ace-jack respectively? Not the greatest hands. Oh, and by the way, let's give a shout-out to Phil Ivey's stack of cash. It looks like he's running a local affiliate of the Chase Bank or something. Like, look at the amount of cash he has in front of him. As we always say, the cash just looks so sweet. Really appreciate it.
Like ace-jack, he could be dominated, and he is. He's got to get a perfect flop. Everybody misses. Patrik still has the best hand.
20.
That's 20,000.
Very nice bet by Barry. If Patrik were alone with Barry in this hand, he might be tempted to call. But he's got to be thinking about Daniel, too. Patrik's gone.
Hey, first pot of the night.
Wow, Barry gets one. For the people asking in the chat, Mike Parker specifically, he says, I guess I didn't win a hoodie. Who won the hoodies? Well, the hoodies went to Ethan Hubbard and Alex Montoya on the show that we had on Tuesday. We'll do another giveaway today. How about that? We'll do another 2 hoodies that we give away today on the show. I will think of something to ask. You guys can respond in the chat, and then we'll give away 2 hoodies at the end of the show. I'll think of something in the next 5 minutes, and then we'll get that train rolling. Let's see what else we have going on. As Daniel is breaking down some hands, we have Saba watching from Kurdistan. That's probably a new country on our list. I don't have the list yet. I probably should make one, but we probably have a new country represented today watching the show. Ozzy's in the house as always. Big Alexander says, big Phil Ivey fan from South Carolina. I believe that's what SC means. Alex Montoya says, oh man, in this lineup, other than D-Nex, Patrik Antonius is another favorite in this lineup, so he's so fierce. He's definitely very fierce. Let's see. Pat says, they know Barry has ace-king. Why not call? I mean, It's $20,000. It's a pretty big bet on the flop here. Brockton, Massachusetts in the house. Ken Tilden says that. Ronnie Barda also from there, I believe. What else we have here? We have Philippines in the house. We have Mike Parker with the shout. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Oh, this is cool. Ace Queen against Ace Queen. Who's going to win this hand? First game of the night, guys. Come on, chime in. We have the same hands against each other. Ace Queen versus Ace Queen. Are you Team Barry or Team Lex? Who's going to win this hand? If someone else wins the hand, it doesn't matter. But are you Team Barry or Team Lex? I don't remember who wins this hand. You might, but I don't. So make your picks right now. Team Barry or Team Lex for who's going to win this hand. We have Ace Queen versus Ace Queen. Obviously, always funny to see when two of the same hands go up against each other in a big pot like this, because I don't think it's going to be a small pot because these guys love blasting. Let's see who wins this hand. Send your picks into the chat right now. Let's go in. Dive in.
You make it 32 with your Ace Queen. I'll make it 12,000 with my Ace Queen.
12,000 total.
All right. So far, we got two, at least a heads-up pot.
Lex doesn't have much money left, under 70,000. Right now, he's going over all those 160,000 hands he played the first week of January. Now, wait a minute. Hand 82,146 was kind of like this. I had Ace Queen. A guy raised me. What did I do then?
I really wonder what Lex is going to do.
Come on.
There we go.
Lex all in.
How much is it?
67-ish.
Going to cost Barry 55,000 to call.
So how much is it to me?
Slow roll.
It's like about 55. 50.
Barry's afraid of the hand he had last hand, Ace King.
Wow.
It would really burn if he calls.
Barry's
Lex
taking a
turned
while.
over Ace King.
He gives it up. Wow. There's one for Team Lex. Shout out to everyone who said Lex in the chat. Appreciate it as always if you guys are interacting with the chat. That is the only way I get something fun to do, because otherwise I'm just watching high stakes poker by myself. I mean, I don't mind it, but it's way more fun if we have something to talk about. Philip Smith, thank you so much for watching. Let's see what we got here. Daniel Kim says, shout-outs from watching from NYC. Always love having New York City in the house. One of my favorite cities to visit. Hallis watching from Norway. As always, European countries well represented here on Run It Back. Let's see. Tom Corella says, I was only able to see the John Little show on YouTube after it was live, but I wanted to ask him if he remembered Philip Hilm from a WSOP and how they could be long-lost brothers, LOL. I mean, I will never forget Philip Hilm. The 07 WSOP main event final table, comes in as the chip leader, punts it all away, busts in 9th place, gives tons of chips to Jerry Yang, who ends up winning the tournament eventually. If you want to watch any of that stuff or any of the classics, we have all the WSOP footage from 03 all the way up until last year available on PokerGo in high resolution, high def, so none of that low-res quality that you can find sometimes on the internet. It is the best of the best. It's all the prelims. It's all the main events. PokerGo has it all for you, the whole collection. So if you are not yet a PokerGo subscriber, that is a great reason to do so. It is the full archive of WSOP episodes. And we also have some older stuff from the 70s and from the 90s and the early 2000s, and we're still working on adding more and more and more to complete the entire catalog of WSOP content. It was quite a journey this year, honestly, but I feel pretty good about it. We have tons of stuff on that website for you to watch if you are a true poker fan, along, of course, with all 7 seasons of High Stakes Poker. Ivey versus Robl here.
Check, check. Eight on the river. Both players like that 8. Phil Ivey's probably debating whether or not to make a value bet with a pair of 3s. Phil realized he has the best hand. He's trying to get paid off. And I think Andrew's going to pay him off. Andrew has been convinced from the get-go that his ace is good. No, he lays it down. Maybe that 6 scared him.
All right, one for Ivey here against Robl. Let's see what else is going on in the chat here. Matthew Dent says, Matty D from London in the house. I appreciate you watching. That's always a good thing, having London in the house. Wilson Son 707 says, I don't want to look stupid, but come on. It's my 31st birthday for 1 hour and 11 minutes now, and I'm sitting here watching this. Is that worth a shout-out? I don't know. Is that worth a shout-out? You tell me. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it is. You let me know if it's worth a shout-out. Let's see what else we have here. We have Ireland in the house. Of course, we have Saudi Arabia in the house. California. I appreciate you guys watching. Sorry, trying to read the chat and also pay attention to the action a little bit here. All right, here we got some serious action. We got Robl with the ace-king against Barry's king-queen suited.
King-queen suited raises it up to 5,500, but here is Andrew with ace-king, and he might put in a raise here. Looks like he's going to. See if anybody else has anything here before it gets back to Barry. Doesn't look like it. Back to Barry. Barry calls the 11,000. Good flop for Barry. Got the queen he needed.
How much do you have there? I probably have like 150, sir.
If I knock out the first year, just a little bit, we'll have another bet on vegan.
I am one.
Are you a vegan? Complete vegan?
Wait,
You can't have protein shakes?
No.
As Phil Ivey goes back to discussing his $1 million vegetarian bet,
No butter.
Andrew decides to take a shot. Maybe Barry has a small pair. Gets scared by those 2 overcards and won't call 20,500. Or maybe he's got a worse ace, like ace 10, which would give them both inside straight draws.
Sometimes a lot of them make egg to make pasta.
Barry just calls.
So this one's easy.
This one's really
But what would happen if you eat? It's only the red meat that you would get problems because you don't have the.
Pretty safe 8.
All right, Robl still with the
I would
chance,
think
of course.
Barry's call will make Andrew shut down.
I wonder what Robl's going to do here. He must know that Barry is not someone to get sticky for no reason, so Robl probably knows that it's going to take 2 big bullets to take this down if he wants to go for it, and even that might not be enough. So with the equity that he has, still can check behind if he wants, but there you go.
Andrew is
44.
in no mood to shut down. 44,000.
I'm all in.
There we go.
Barry is all in. Andrew is all out.
All right, there goes Andrew Robl. And I just thought of the game that we're going to play today for the hoodies. And you know who reminded me of the game? It is, let me see on Facebook. Someone said something on Facebook. Michael Swartz says, please don't call 2003 a classic. Well, Michael, please tell me what I'm supposed to call it then, because in my opinion, that is a classic World Series of Poker year, and I think all those years leading up to probably 2007, 8 are all classic years. What I want to know from you guys today for the hoodies, what was your favorite ever WSOP? Let me know the year. You can also let me know the reason why you love that World Series of Poker the most. It could be because you played it. It could be because you loved watching it on TV. Maybe it was the year that you started watching poker. Let me know in the chat on Facebook and YouTube what your favorite year ever was of the World Series of Poker. Every single person who gave the response will be entered into the draw. We'll randomly select 2 people at the end of the show, and we'll give those people a PokerGO hoodie. So, very simple game. What's your favorite World Series of Poker? Let me know in the chat. You have until the end of the show to do so, and then I'll announce who the 2 winners are. So, stick with me here. Let me know what you think. What's the best year of the WSOP? Personally, I think I'm going to go with 2004. Reason being, that was the first ever WSOP that I watched, the 04 main event. And I love Marcel Lusk, who finished in 10th place. He's from the Netherlands, so I loved watching him. There's so many iconic moments here. Him against Harry Dimitriou, the moment of him, standing up and singing, "Give a little bit." That's all I'll do. And, when Europe is on the phone, it's a really, really funny moment as well. So Marcel Lusk, 2004 main event, probably my favorite of all time. So let me know in the chat what your favorite year of the WSOP was, and every single person who sends in a mention of whatever year it is, they will be entered into the draw to get a PokerGo hoodie. All right, Ivey back in action, making 6K with King 10 suited. Dennis Phillips looks as though he's going to make the call here with the pocket eights. He does. All right, cool. We'll see where this goes. Dave says, say Chattanooga, Tennessee. Well, there you go. I can do that. Daniel Kim says, Remko, when's the last time you went back to the motherland of the Netherlands? That would be September last year. I went to visit after the British Poker Open was hosted in London, and went home to see my family for a few days, and ever since I've been here in the U.S. And of course, this year is not the greatest year to travel, so staying here in the U.S. is probably a better idea. And we get Cape Cod, Massachusetts in the house. We have San Diego. We have more UK. Montreal, Canada in the house. I love Montreal. I really love Montreal. Sadly, I've only been in Montreal when it was winter, but still I had a really good time. We have a different planet in the house, Centurion. Never been there. Maybe it has great reviews on Yelp. We'll have to take a look.
I'm sure he has the best hand.
Ivey with top pair. That should do it.
Oh, that's right. That's the double gutter with the queen six. You're right. I did that.
Probably putting Dennis on exactly what he has, a middle pair, and trying to figure out how much he can extract. Let me see if I can extract 20,000 here.
I wouldn't have picked you to be the arbitrator anyway. Regardless of what you said.
It's funny because I'm the one who was really close on the line. I like flip back.
Dennis throws in a blue chip as he looks a little annoyingly at Dwan and Barry for
There we
talking
go.
so much.
Dennis Phillips paying the rent for Phil Ivey. He probably paid that much in rent. All right, we got tons of messages in the chat from people who are letting me know what their favorite year was of the WSOP. Greg Mack says, got a photo with Phil Ivey at 2009 WSOP. He was a really nice bloke, very nice bloke. 09 was my first year actually at the WSOP when I was 21 years old. Nashum says the Jamie Gold year, that was in 06. Then you have lots of 2003 and 4. 06 is getting mentioned a ton of times as well. I'm getting all these names down, and then we'll pick someone at the end to win the PokerGo hoodies. I really appreciate you guys all chiming in. What else do we have going on in the chat? If you guys have any questions, please let me know. High Stakes Poker is coming back. I mentioned this at the top of the show. They are filming it as we speak. Like right now. I am live now watching old High Stakes Poker, but the new High Stakes Poker is actually being filmed right now at the PokerGo studio. So you guys probably have seen some stuff on social media from some of the players, and I can just say that I can't wait to see what this turns into. It's going to be epic. It's going to be amazing. All right, multi-way action. Let's play another game. It's game time. Pick your winner. We have 2, 4, 6. We have 6 hands in the pot. Nothing too special from anyone. Of course, Ivey and Negreanu with the ace. That's going to be in the lead. Lex with the queen 10. Also a pretty good hand. I can make an argument for almost every hand except for maybe Dwan's queen deuce. So if you want to take a stab at this, pick your winner. And for the people who are asking when is High Stakes Poker coming back, December 16th is when High Stakes Poker is coming back. So don't miss out. Who's going to win this hand, though? I appreciate you guys taking a guess at this, and then we'll just roll the clip and see who wins this hand. Let's go. Oh, I guess I was wrong.
A little $5,400 bet, hoping someone has a hand like Lex, queen 10. Lex doesn't have too much money left. Lex could get in big trouble in this. But we got an interloper here. Dan's going to raise it to 12-8 with a pair of threes. He thinks Tom Dwan is out of line, and now Lex doesn't know what to do. All of a sudden, his queen 10 doesn't look so big. He releases.
Wow. Well, Daniel clearly saves Lex a bunch of money in this spot here with his big raise. Dwan, of course, flopping 2 pair.
To go all in. Someone calls him, run it twice. Hope to snag an ace or a 6. But he just calls.
How much are you playing, Daniel?
Like 4.
I know you did. I can take it. That's okay. I deserve it for other reasons, so I'll never
Yes, you
fight with
do.
you. So I'll never fight with you.
Daniel's voice is a little shaky there.
You don't talk to me like
He knows what's coming.
that. Don't talk to me like that.
Good luck getting there.
Let's just watch this pot and relax.
88.49.
Little posturing going on by Daniel. How can this Dwan always have a hand?
I'm sorry, yeah. Instead of you giving me,
Danny is
instead
scary.
of you giving me 12,
he makes all of he chips it in so many times.
instead of
That's
you
what I
giving me
do.
12
I
shots
chip
aside,
him in.
you got to give me 10 now.
You're not gambling with Jimmy. That
I play from the scatter tees.
Dennis trying to calculate
from the
everything.
family tees.
The odds, the percentages.
The family keys. Yeah.
Making it straight.
It's 2,300 yard course at TBC Summerlin. There's
Dennis
marked
really
out
starting to
family
get
keys.
annoyed with the table
Yeah, they are, I
conversation.
swear. When next time you
Wow, so Dwan takes it down. He has the best hand, but also the most aggression. Daniel took a stab at it. Phillips basically told everyone, I have a draw. And then Ivey just pounded over the top and took this one down. Interesting to see how Phillips, starting to get maybe a little bit frustrated. What else we have here? Kevin Murphy says, in 1989, the 24-year-old Helmuth became the youngest player to win the main event at WSOP by defeating 2-time champion Johnny Chan in heads-up play. Kevin, I think you hit a home run. That is an excellent, excellent year. And that final table is available on PokerGo. So if you want to watch that, please go and check out that entire final table. We have the Jamie Gold shout-out year by Lucky Luciano. Let's see. WSP 2020, Ryan DePaulo winning a bracelet in his car at Whole Foods. That's awesome. That's a really, really funny clip. While the players are talking to camera for a bit, let's catch up with the chat a little bit. Wow, chat's going fast today, guys. I appreciate it. And if you're new to the show, or if you're just tuning in, please let me know where you're watching from. I always love hearing where the fans are coming from. Fans of the show, fans of High Stakes Poker, fans of Lex Veldhuis, whoever you're a fan of, I appreciate you guys. Chris says, what's up, Remko? I'm doing great. I'm watching High Stakes Poker, hanging out with you guys. Could not be any better. Bjorn, shout out. I do remember the good old golden days of Poker News back when I was still living in the Netherlands, traveling around. And yeah, this was when Lex was still Razi, the online legend. Now he is, of course, the Twitch legend. Let's see.
6,000 bet and call.
Big action
throw it
here.
out there and I'll just play, 1.6 instead of 1.5 just to be friendly. Alright, no, I'll lay 1.5, 1.6.
You have to play more than 3 to 1. First of all, there's reasons you can't make the bet like that.
Why?
Because if you get, you don't. No, that he's no. You don't understand. He's a favorite doing that. Why? Because if he gets stuck, I was helping you, not him.
Why don't you talk to me?
That's cool, just kill my action then, Barry. It's okay since you're helping
How you
Phil.
help?
Don't
Everybody
worry
kind of laughing at Barry, interjecting his opinion into this bet. Dwan's actually a little annoyed. Barry might be killing his action. Meanwhile, back to this hand, Daniel's flopped the nut straight, bet 8,000, and Dwan's called with a pair of kings. Here comes a third club on the turn.
We're gonna do 2K, 4K limit.
A crossbook's a better bet.
Check, check.
3K, 4K.
Queen on the river.
9. It's rare. I didn't like the river card so much. It's kind of bad.
Flop a straight.
I did, yeah. Do you have anything? The king?
It's a good hand. Flopping them straights.
Huh?
Michael Milan on YouTube is asking, what happened to Lex? Don't hear much of him anymore. Well, he plays on Twitch almost every single day, and he has the biggest audience of any poker player in the world. I think he set the record as well for the most viewers of a Twitch stream back during Scoop earlier this year. He played for like more than 50,000 people live on Twitch in some of the deep runs of his Scoop High events. So Lex is doing well. He's doing awesome. as far as his poker action goes, of course. He's going to be back on the show at some point. We still have some World Series of Poker action to watch with him, so we'll make time for that and get him on the show somewhere in the next few weeks or months, depending on how the schedule lines up. Hussein is watching from Pakistan. Appreciate it, Hussein. Don't know too many people from Pakistan tuning into the show, so you might be your number one fan from Pakistan. I think that's an honor you can take home. I appreciate you watching. We have Oliver watching from Ecuador. We have Yaman watching from Amsterdam. Luis is asking, what are you saying, Luis? Is why aren't we just uploading the episodes instead of stream? Well, Luis, all 7 seasons are available on PokerGo. So if you want to watch those episodes, please go on over to PokerGo.com. Subscribe to our channel. It's exclusively all right there. And today and twice a week, I do a fun hangout with the fans to watch some old school high stakes poker action and dive back into the archives. So if you want to watch it without my commentary, then you go to PokerGo.com right now and subscribe right there.
I gotta put the straddle on.
And one hitchhiker gets off in the next town, and I think one is going all the way. Wherever you're going, he's going. I can't tell if Dwan is trying to trap or he's being cautious. Unlikely that third diamond changed anything. Be quite possible for Lex to have a hand like King, Queen, King, Jack. I would think Dwan's going to make a little value bet here.
How much do you have?
Close to 70.
Might be more than a little value bet.
Really close to 70.
I'm a net.
Wow. Wow.
Don't believe that. An animal we have not seen around these parts before. A cautious Tom Dwan.
I got a lot of respect at this table.
That's crazy. Did you guys see that? Did you guys see Tom Dwan checking behind there with trip aces against Lex Veldhuis? He must have been real scared of Lex Veldhuis. That is one of the crazier hands you'll see. I think it gives a lot of respect to Lex and his game, and I think it's kind of crazy when you think about it that, the people crusher that is Tom Dwan checking behind there against Lex Veldhuis. Pretty crazy. You don't see it all too often. Steve Bauer says, I'd rather hang with running back. My man, I appreciate you. That is awesome to hear. Oh, there we go. Electra Sar says, you rock, guy on the left. Well, the guy on the left appreciates it. That is really cool to hear. Vishant says, love the series from India. Appreciate you watching from India. That is awesome. We have more New York City in the house. Let's see. Hello from Detroit. Poker still not available, but soon. Chris Bryan says that. I appreciate it. We have Nashville in the house. New Zealand. Oh, man, I'd love to go to New Zealand. Sydney, Australia in the house. Some of the best coffee I've ever had in my life and some of the best breakfast. Actually, yeah, let me say that. The best breakfast and coffee is in Australia. Melbourne and Sydney, doesn't matter where, just the best breakfast and the best coffee. It's just a fact. More action here. Just 10 deuce. Who's going to win this hand? That's going to be interesting to see. I hope Phillips makes it 60K just to shut these guys up for once.
And Dennis stuck 180,000 is in no mood to go out.
You like my hair, Derek? Didn't put any product in, but looks pretty golden and flowy. Kind of like it this way.
Dennis has the best hand with a pair of sevens.
Wow, Matthew Whitefield in the house. My man, I miss you, bud. It's been way too long since we were, grinding the Amazon room together for all those years. Appreciate you watching, my man.
Dennis really looked like he wanted to bet there. But Tom Dwan doesn't feel that way. He looks like he's more concerned with Phil Ivey. Maybe he thinks Dennis was posturing.
Come on, Dennis, do it. Punish him. Come on, do it to him once.
Dennis is probably saying, what does it take to slow this boy down? Rohypnol, horse tranquilizer? I have no more pills.
Come on, Dennis. Just win one for us. Do it for the chat.
I'm all in.
Dennis is all in, and of course, Tom Dwan is out.
He finally gets one. Poor Dennis Phillips. Getting crushed at the table so far. Olga is saying, I want to be on that table now. That would be really funny to see. Some amateurs like ourselves here, some chat warriors joining high stakes poker and just give all our money away. I can totally see that happening. All right, we have Lisbon in the house. Andre, thank you for watching. We have Vienna in the house. Mark says, watching from Vienna at 1:30 a.m. I can't sleep. Well, this game is also not going to put you to sleep. Let me tell you that. So much action happening. Connor White says, best Dutch poker player ever, he's asking. I mean, that's tough because I haven't been keeping up with the latest and greatest, so I can't really comment on that. I'm just going to go with Lex. And I know, technically he's not the best, but he is the best. I love Lex. I think he has represented the country the best, and I think that he's the player that I love watching the most. What else do we have here? By the way, I'm giving away 2 PokerGo hoodies today on the show. In the chat, please let me know what your favorite year of the World Series of Poker was. Whatever the reason may be, it could be because you played, because you won a bracelet, because you got Phil Ivey's signature, or perhaps it's the favorite one you liked watching. So in my case, 2004. That was my favorite WSOP.
And what do you know? Here's the real hand. Small blind, Patrik Antonius with aces. Been a raise and a call.
For the people that are wondering, high stakes poker, what is going on? What is happening? We are taping it as we speak and releasing new episodes starting December 16th. 26 new episodes of high stakes poker coming at you as we have Antonius and Robl clashing. Aces versus ace queen. Let's see where this goes.
Okay. I always do twice.
Andrew looks like he's considering calling here.
Well, I figure you do. You want maximum pain. I understand.
I think what's going on is he's wondering why Patrik raised so much, 23,000. He probably feels that Patrik might have a hand like 9s, 10s, and Patrick's trying to end the hand right here. Andrew has been good in dissecting these hands.
Like 6.
Seems like he's a little off in this hand, and maybe he's going to call the 23,400 and look at the flop. That glance is pretty useless. That's like looking at Mount Rushmore and expecting Abraham Lincoln to blink. And Patrik does blink.
Come on.
And Andrew goes all in. And of course, Patrik insta-calls.
Snap
What
call.
do you have?
What do you have? He said call.
You can pick. Run it twice.
Okay, let's go. Let's do it.
Maybe 4 times would be better, but I don't know. I don't know how I can win it 4 times. I don't know if there's enough cards.
That was a good door card for you.
3. 3.
Here's the first 3.
This would be dirty.
That's a good card for me, right?
Another 3, and they would split the first one.
So now you can't lose. But you
1 hour.
Yeah.
There weren't many bad cards after that flop.
No.
I guess
A 4 was a bad.
4 and a 5 was bad.
4 or 5.
It was a good door card for him.
Not 1 queen out. That was good. That's a good sign for you.
Uh-oh.
That's bad.
Yeah.
And that's the name of that tune.
Of course.
In a game this size, with these kind of players, that's what happens with one misread.
Tom, you have any? You need to give some.
Let's get 65 from you.
Andrew elegantly keeps his case open and rebuys. 200 more.
200 more for Robl, who loses 2 in a row against Antonius with ace-queen against pocket aces. Seeing lots more years shouted out here. I see Brian Barnett saying 1997, Stu Unger. I love that. That's a great pick. Alexander James Ratliff sends a long message. He says, my favorite WSOP year was 2009. I met Joe Cotta in 2008 in Vegas, and he was a great guy, took time to talk to me, and gave me some small pointers. So when he won in 2009, I was so happy for him. But he played awful in the big game, but he bounced back eventually. I mean, he didn't play awful. He just got very, very lucky in the spots that he ended up getting his money in. So I had Cotta on the show. So Alexander, if you're a fan of Joe Cotta, look for his name and run it back, and you'll see him break down the final table from 2009. And I think you'll realize that it was more just luck and weird situations that he got himself into. But obviously, there's a big difference between getting lucky and playing bad, because you can still play good, get it in bad, and get lucky, which is what Joe Cotta did. And of course, he was splashy and aggressive, and that ended up working out for him. Here we have Dwan against Negreanu again. This could be a big one. If my memory serves me right, this pot is...
And here's what Daniel's doing.
This pot's interesting.
Daniel's involved enough at this point. He's going to call 17-1 and see a flop.
Shout out to Elix Powers.
And it's not a good flop for Daniel.
Oh, boy.
He hits a jack, and he's got to feel that Tom Dwan might have
You
air.
get there a lot.
No matter how bad they are at doing it, you aren't going to win.
How much?
Even Patrick wasn't able to do it.
Maybe.
This is a masterclass from Daniel Negreanu showing how to bluff Tom Dwan.
Dan's going to call. Tom Dwan makes the nuts. That king could save Daniel from any further damage. $56-6.
56-6.
That should be the end of this hand,
It won't be, trust me.
but it doesn't look like Daniel wants to go away.
I remember this hand.
It is possible that Tom Dwan has air. We've seen him do this with air. Daniel's seen him do this with air.
Raise.
And Daniel's
Oh,
raising
boy.
here. Just like Andrew in the last hand, a total misread.
How much more is it?
Tom Dwan says, yum, yum.
This was back in 2010. This is High Stakes Poker Season 6. If you want to watch all this stuff, you can go to PokerGo.com and check out all 7 seasons. And Season 8 is coming December 16. Mark your calendars. New episodes.
Tom Dwan's decision here is, does Daniel have a real hand? If Daniel has a real hand, like maybe 2 jacks or ace-queen even, he could raise and Daniel would call. But he's going to continue to try and let Daniel hang himself. Daniel's had enough.
You had what I had. What I was pretending to have. Never mind.
That's an expensive bluff. All right, guys, let me know in the chat. How do we feel about Daniel Negreanu trying a bluff there against Tom Dwan? Of course, we can all see the cards. which makes poker about as easy as it gets. So try to imagine that you don't know the cards. Was that a good bluff by Daniel Negreanu, or was it not? Let me know in the chat. Rate Daniel's bluff out of 10. So 10 being an amazing bluff, 1 being the worst possible bluff. Let me know in the chat. Was this a good bluff by Daniel? We know it failed. I mean, we can see that. It failed dramatically, and he lost a lot of money. But how do you feel about the bluff? Do you think that this had a chance of winning? Do you think that this was bad all around? Let me know your thoughts.
$383,000 pot, Tom Dwan, mostly because of his reputation. And Daniel hits the bottom. And there are stack sizes to start the show.
All right, stack sizes here
Tom
for the
Dwan is
next
winning
episode.
335,000.
Look at that money. Look at all that money.
Patrik up about 150,000. Big loser is Andrew Robl, who's stuck almost $200,000. Both Phil Ivey and Andrew are taking a little break here. This is our last show with this group of players. Patrik opens up for 6,000 with ace-4 unsuited.
I thought that was a really good river.
Daniel just calls.
Yes, I actually, when you called, I thought you had ace-king.
Only problem with that river is probably aren't going to throw it.
Negreanu is getting lots of hate here in the chat. Lots of 3s and 2s and 4s. Not too many people excited about Daniel's bluff there against Tom Dwan. Meanwhile, Ian is asking, what's your favorite football team back home in the Netherlands or in Holland? Ajax is my favorite team. It still is. I have a poster on the wall, actually, in my apartment here in Vegas of my favorite player of all time, Jari Liedmanen, who played for Ajax back when I was still a young boy. All right, Veldhuis and Negreanu clashing.
Lex is out.
That didn't work. Lex getting punished.
Unlike some hands earlier this season, Daniel's timing was perfect there.
Giancarlo Fortin says, Dwan is a very loose player, so it's hard to put him on a legit hand. It was a semi-bluff with the worst hand. I'm not necessarily sure if it was a semi-bluff. It was more so like a full-on bluff, even though, you know, he had some outs to make a straight, he had some outs to make, you know, his own boat or whatever, but it was not a very good hand to do that with, I think. William says it's only a good bluff if it works. So no, it was a horrible bluff because he ran into a monster and got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. Well, that's a saying I haven't heard in a long time. That's really funny.
The straddle is still mandatory. Dennis Phillips picks up a real hand and decides to slow play his jacks. This is probably what he wanted, just like Daniel in the last hand, hoping somebody raises. Ivey was tempted. 8-9 of hearts for Andrew. I would think he would call the 6,700 here. He's got the straddle on already. Button raised by Tom Dwan. Conservative play, lets it go. And Dennis Phillips does not raise. Let's see if this works out for him. Not so far.
Wow. Dennis Phillips unlucky again. It probably would have cost him even more money, depending on how this plays out, if he had made another raise before the flop. Extreme Skins says, you guys are saying horrible because you can see the cards. I kind of agree with you there, because if Dwan has, you know, a different hand and he ends up folding, then Daniel looks like a genius. But in this case, he was bluffing against ace-king, and that clearly was never, ever, ever going to work. Phillips in serious trouble here.
I think Dennis was really debating raising there. Decides to continue calling. Now Dwan is intrigued about what Dennis really has. Dennis was drawing. That king is a good card for him. Could have made a straight with that king, or he could have made a pair of kings. There's a third spade. I think Dennis is realizing that he probably doesn't have the best hand here. And in order to win this pot, he's going to have to bet. That's what I think is going through his mind. And I'm pretty sure of it now because he bet 33,000.
Wow.
He's probably trying to get Tom Dwan to throw away a queen.
Tom Dwan looks like he
Whether it
doesn't
works
know
or
what
not,
to
it's
do.
a good play from Dennis Phillips. Tom Dwan gives up. He was a little lost.
I stand corrected. Dennis Phillips, even though we did not like his play before the flop, and even though I said, that might have saved him some money, even though I don't agree with it, I think he should put more money in before the flop, he got creative on the river and took it down. Shout out to Dennis Phillips. That was a really fun way to play this hand. Not the way I would have played it, but definitely a fun way to play this hand.
Patrik Antonius sat down with Kara Scott to discuss playing against Phil Ivey and Tom Dwan.
Patrik, you've played a lot of hands online against Tom and Phil Ivey. Is it different playing against them live?
Yeah, it's a little bit different. I think Phil gets a little bit more edge playing live than online. He has a very good feel for the game live. And yeah, Tom is very good too. I think we all are better live players than online players because we can get more information from other players. Just a different feel. But
Who would you rather play, the online version of Tom and Phil or the live version?
if I had to pick, I would play Phil Ivey online and Tom live. That would be my pick, but obviously I would probably not even want to play those guys.
All right, that's a good question, actually, for the people in the chat here. Are you a better live player or online player? Let me tell you, I'm a much better online player than live player. I'm probably pretty terrible playing live. The only thing I'm good at playing live is ordering more drinks for the table. That is sort of my thing when I play live. Let me know in the chat. Are you a better online player or a live player? I'm curious to hear the reasons why, and I'm curious to hear from you guys in general. I'm going to go online for myself. And I'm not any good online either, but just better than live.
Offsuit. Andrew debating raising here. It would work if he did it. Doesn't pull a trigger.
Four-way action here.
Flop's the best hand.
Wow. We have so many live players here in the chat. Every single person so far says live. That surprises me a lot.
Well, if this were just Phil Ivey and Andrew Robl, the big blind against the straddle, I think for sure Andrew would raise here. I doubt he will now because he's got two players behind him, and there he goes, just calls.
Easy game to play when you have nothing.
Wow. So many live players. We got some live ones here tonight. I appreciate it. Every single person who has commented so far says live, which I love. It's just really funny to hear. We should do a live game. We should do a home game. Maybe in the year 2027, when live poker is still is able to be played in a normal way again. We should have a run it back meetup game.
Andrew's saying, boy, I wish we were online. I could tell if he's bluffing then. Another successful bluff by Phil Ivey.
So the reason I said that I'm not as good at live poker as I am at online poker is because when I play live, I play way too many hands. I play way too aggressive. I order way too many drinks. I am having way too much fun. And when I'm playing online, I'm just focusing on the play. I don't drink beers on my couch playing online poker. That's just a whole different sort of universe. So yes, for me, it's definitely online. I think I saw a few people say online. Joao says he plays better online than live. Catherine says live. I use my older female image to make moves. Well, Catherine, if you and I ever find each other at the same table, I will know to never fold against you. Thanks for the tip on your playing style. Here comes Ivey.
Phil Ivey suspects something. Raises Barry. We have another air Ivey hand. Ivey suspects that Barry was out of line, and he's right.
Uh-oh. Who remembers this hand? Uh-oh. Alarm's going off.
Lex, who's got a decent hand, suspects that they're both out of line, and he's right. Look at them. They look like suspects. Nice play by Lex. 51-6.
How much more are you playing?
I think Phil Ivey's posturing here,
110,
asking Lex how much he has.
140 something? 130, 140 more?
Doesn't want Barry to know he raised him with air.
I'll never forget this hand.
I'm all in.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Phil Ivey just went all in with a 5-deuce offsuit.
Oh, boy.
I don't believe it.
I thought you were just angry at Barry.
I am.
That is one of the great bluffs
Nice hand.
in the history of high-stakes poker. What a move.
All these super good spots that keep coming up.
Lose
Too
50
good.
each one.
Yeah, but it's like, it's a really good spot though. Like,
It's never a super good spot when you're against a superpower.
stuck a little more now.
Ah, come on, Lex. Could have made the call and looked like a hero calling off Ivey's bluff. That hand, it'll forever haunt him just a little bit. But epic bluff, of course, by Phil Ivey, who just sticks it in there with the 5-deuce suited. Incredible, incredible hand. John Hansen says, live, I drink way too much while playing online. Wait, hold on. John, did you just say that you drink too much beer when you play online? Yeah, I think you did. That is really funny. What else is going on here? Alex Montoya says, I'm the exact opposite, LOL. Tighter at the table and loose and aggressive on a line. It's just funny how we all have different styles. I really love that about poker. Everyone has their own style. Everyone can play their own way. And at the end of the day, we all lose and walk home with our heads down. And then we get parking validation because we didn't think about that. We've all been there. Come on, guys. We've all had that night out when you're in Vegas or, playing at your local casino and everything is going your way and it's going well and you're vibing and all of a sudden a few bluffs later, you're like, oh man, I hope I have enough money left for parking or a Subway sandwich at 4 a.m. because I just gave all my money away to some guy who's been super tight and I thought I could bluff him. Let me know in the chat if you've been that person. I've been that person many times.
This group of players.
And then when it's online, it's easier. You just slam down your laptop, you toss it in the corner, and you just walk away as if nothing ever happened. And then a week later, when you've forgotten about it, you reload your account, and you just start firing again.
And Punxsutawney Barry says, go ahead, raise. I'll come out of my hole. But Punxsutawney is out. And Andrew's got to throw his air away.
Yay.
And it's time again for Sonny and Cher, and I got you, babe. As
Final
the new
hand.
begins.
Finally a hand for Lex.
thing is, I didn't have the option of rebluffing you,
Yeah.
You can't really fold now.
Yeah. I was like, would be kind of.
Can't fold when you
embarrassing,
put in half your chips.
though. That's true.
Well, you were bluffing too.
Patrick.
Cassio is saying, playing now and watching you. I appreciate that. Is anyone else playing poker right now as you're watching Run It Back? I wish I could play poker right now because keeping track of the chat and high-stakes poker and everything else that's going on, it's pretty tough to fire up a table. But maybe one day we should do a hangout where I play some online poker, we shoot the shit, and maybe watch some high-stakes poker at the same time. I don't even know if that's possible, but maybe it is.
20,000 with an ace-8 offsuit.
That's Patrick when he gets. He probably has the figure. You don't know exactly.
I think Daniel's seen enough of what Lex done in the last few hands. He's calling 14,000 instamatically.
Yeah, that should be right. Just double checking. There you go.
It's a lot of purple.
Yeah, I
don't
don't
really
really
like the
bust into the
purple
cash
too.
yet. Well, then you don't have to win the pot.
I might not. It's pretty
I'll
impossible.
tell you what I'm
anyway.
gonna do. I'm gonna check in the dark because there's no flop I'm betting anyway.
All right, thanks, Helmut.
Thanks, Helmut.
That is amazing.
Gin for Daniel.
Wow.
I'm done with it. Check.
He's done with it.
Daniel flopped the nut straight. Lex has enough to keep him dancing.
Bet 20.
I want you to take it out.
That's 20,000.
Really?
No, I'm kidding. Do I want purple change? Yes or no?
Lex calls.
Wow.
It's like he really doesn't have the heart to
Lex
be in this
drawing dead here against Daniel.
Really bad card for Lex. Only worst card would be an ace or an 8.
Bet 50.
I call.
Go straight.
No?
I got a
just call.
straight.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't.
Well, on a scale with
7.
calling quads 2 pair being the worst kind of slow roll,
Oh, you pulled
leaving
it for
out the
50.
dependent clause I have before you say the word
Wait,
straight
let me give it. Oh, yeah, that's fine.
is also a slow roll. I don't think Daniel meant it, but it was.
Wow. Painful.
I learned that from you. I kept the pot small on the flop.
Yeah,
Good.
Painful hand there for Lex. Daniel asks, if you learn any poker variant besides Hold'em and Omaha, what would it be? Well, Daniel, let me tell you, I know every single form of poker. I'm a mixed game player. I am pretty terrible at No Limit Hold'em, I have to admit. Omaha, not much better at all. I think my best game is probably Deuce 7 triple draw, or some variation of any of the draw games. Badoogie also I'm pretty decent at. I play a lot more of the mixed games than I do Hold'em, especially when it's live. Of course, haven't played live since March, but if I ever get back into live streets, I look to play low-stakes mixed games. That's my favorite way of playing poker. For the people who are asking about high-stakes poker, the new season, it is coming to PokerGO December 16. New episodes of high-stakes poker. They're being filmed right now. So it's going to be exciting to have those exclusively on PokerGO. Don't miss out. It's going to be awesome. Oh, by the way, as a side note, November 4th, which is next week, Daniel Negreanu versus Doug Polk. The grudge match, 8 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. on the West Coast. It's starting. They're playing 200 hands of live poker, 200, 400 no limit hold'em from the PokerGO studio. Free on PokerGO. Don't miss out. Also, if you are here still with me, we still have tons of action left to watch. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Do all that good stuff. I appreciate it. I love when you guys hit that like button. It really helps the show a lot, actually. It helps other people find the show. So if you like what you're seeing, why not give other people a chance to see it as well? Share with your friends and let them know that every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern and every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, I do this show. We do it live, we watch old school poker, and we have some fun with it.
The honorable thing threw away the ace-8 of clubs. That was a fortunate oversight for him because Daniel's got ace-king of hearts and raises to 6,000.
He said he was going to play. He was tomorrow. I'm
Lex a little confused by what's happening here. Why Daniel went from 800 to 6,000. He goes out.
You made it 6,000?
Yeah.
You know there was no straddle?
What? No, I didn't know there was no straddle. Why was there no straddle?
Oh, it's my fault.
Wait, aren't we playing a mandatory straddle? It's all right.
It's because Phil left.
I'll let
yeah.
him know for the future.
It's all right. Yeah, I mean, I obviously wouldn't have made it 6.
Yeah, we're doing a mandatory.
I'll let you guys know if someone forgets.
And
So
they
you
could,
just got
they
off-
could let you change your vibe. I mean,
Doesn't matter.
then I want my hand back.
If you change your bet, yeah. I thought you were going to ship on me or something. I didn't see there was no straddle. I didn't know that we.
And it's
Yeah, it's my
At least
fault.
I told
Dur
you.
against Negreanu. One more time.
Weird dynamic there with the missed straddle.
Bad flop for Dur. He thinks it's a good flop. He's got the king he was looking for.
So 8 p.m. Eastern, Clay, for the people in Australia, that is exactly an hour ago. Yeah, an hour and 5 minutes ago. So yes, you're right. An hour ago, on November 4th, that's when we have Daniel Negreanu versus Doug Polk. 200 hands of 200, 400, no limit hold'em, heads up play. Thanks for asking, by the way. That's a great question.
Really applies here. Tom Dwan's probably going to raise just to see if he can figure out what Daniel has.
Thanks for watching, Grant. I appreciate the shout. Kiwi in Canada. Love myself some Kiwis. Love myself some Canada.
Wrong here. Dwan just calls.
I know you meant New Zealand.
Ace of Spades is not a card that Tom Dwan likes seeing, and it's kind of bittersweet for Daniel. Daniel realizes there's a small chance that Dwan's made a flush, and if he hasn't, that Ace of Spades is going to cost him action. He checks. Now that ace is a little sweeter. Daniel's got the absolute nuts, and he's hoping Tom has a hand just like he has. Even a little weaker hand, maybe a pair higher than sevens. He feels pretty confident he can get Dwan to call.
That's so much. Why would you bet that much?
Come on, Tom. Give it.
I'm sad.
Makes me sad. Makes me want to cry. Makes me want to die. But it doesn't make me want to call. Tom Dwan is playing perfectly against Daniel Negreanu this season.
Find a river, or did you find your balls?
River
or balls?
I obviously proved that I had balls because I raised you to like 150 with.
Oh,
air.
I'm not saying right. I'm just saying in that particular instance.
No.
That's funny. That's the best. Is that the best Tom Dwan line we've ever heard? Did you hit the river or did you find your balls? That's a pretty funny one, actually. I love that.
River or balls.
River or balls? Isn't that something the Indians said to Richard Harris in A Man Called Horse?
Hope it was river. I made a hero full. I had a pair.
Wow. God. That was a sick hand, actually.
Pico Johnson says Doug Polk for the win. All right, as we've breached the subject, November 4th, it is going to be high-stakes feud. Daniel Negreanu versus Doug Polk. Let me know in the chat. Are you rooting for Daniel Negreanu or Doug Polk? It's going to be many, many weeks of heads-up battles on WSOP.com, but they're kicking it off with 200 hands of 200, 400 no limit hold'em on inside the PokerGO studio, doing it live. It's free to watch on PokerGO. So tell me, Team Doug or Team Daniel? Who are you on? Who are you rooting for in this battle between Doug Polk and Daniel Negreanu? I'm very curious to hear what you guys think about this upcoming heads-up battle. Jerry says, I love these, Remko. I've seen all episodes 100 times, but I love hearing another point of view. Thank you for what you do. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you being with me here on the show. I love hearing that.
Yeah, I know.
You too?
You too, right?
I had an ace too.
He said he had an ace. I had an ace. He said it in Finnish, so it sounded like, I had an ace, I had an ace. It's almost the same thing.
I vote for ace.
I was about to make that joke, Daniel. 4 legitimate hands to the flop. Unusual for this group of players.
All right, so far in this question of Doug versus Daniel, Facebook is saying overwhelmingly Daniel Negreanu. Guess what? YouTube is saying Doug Polk. I feel like we have a YouTube Facebook clash going on right now as both platforms have a different favorite. It makes sense, though. Doug posts all his videos on YouTube, and Daniel is a poker superstar, and he has been for many, many years. It is interesting to see, though, what you guys think. And so far, it's pretty even, but not on each platform. It's pretty one-sided on each platform.
And Patrick's going to call. And Daniel doesn't even think for a second about calling with his king with these two players in the hand.
Yeah, that's all you gotta do, right?
Bingo for Patrick. Well, almost bingo. He would prefer it wasn't the 9 of clubs.
And then I decided you don't have ace.
But he will take it.
Let's go.
And he's going to bet.
But I'll find out.
Fire that river.
How could you not fire the river?
How do you not?
I was convinced.
28,000.
I had ace
With
king.
this board,
I
You
really
have like the ace 9 suited.
Dennis really doesn't have a quality hand with ace jack.
You had ace king there.
He's trying to figure out what he could beat.
Man, I wish you found him that time.
We should have the balls that time.
I don't think Patrik would mind taking the hand right here.
The balls don't do too well versus a hand usually.
Versus
Dennis
the
sort of
outside
lost his
stuff. Oh, that's
concentration
it.
right there.
Usually you wish you
And he's
could
out.
find him then.
Probably lucky Dwan distracted him. He might have found a way to talk himself into calling.
In the battle between Facebook and YouTube, now we have Kai claiming that YouTube has more viewers than Facebook. Well, that's not true. Facebook has more viewers than YouTube, and it always does. So Facebook Army is definitely going strong. Lots of love for both players, by the way. Let me just remain in the middle here. I just want to see some good action. I want this to be a close match. I want it to be exciting all the way until the end because they're going to play 25,000 hands of 200, 400 no limit hold'em. So it would really suck if one player crushed the other because that would obviously mean that, you know, it's one-sided. It wouldn't be as fun to watch. So I just want to see a very long, drawn-out battle. All right. Final call here. So let me know what your favorite year of the World Series of Poker was in the chat. Let me know. We're giving away 2 hoodies once again. So 2 hoodies, PokerGO hoodies, are being handed out at the end of the show. Anyone who lets me know in the chat what their favorite year of the WSOP was gets entered into the draw. That's all you have to do. Just let me know what your favorite year of the WSOP was. That's the question I came up with at the start of the show. At the end of the show, I will draw for who's the winner. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned, and you might be lucky.
He's in the straddle. Lex's first act. Looks like he's got some plans for this hand also. Going to make it 7,500 with a 6-7 suited. Dennis, again with a pair. And again, just flat calls. Worked out from the last time.
Oh, that's live.
Phil Ivey feels like playing. He's been dormant for a while.
By the way, for the people who do not win tonight, we have new merch out on PokerGoShop.com. We have new PokerGO merch out. So if you love the brand, if you love what we do, we have some cool merch out right now. And let me just actually open the shop myself because I know we have new stuff coming soon. I just want to see if it's... Yes, it's on there. Okay. You guys have to check it out. PokerGoShop.com. We released new items today in the shop. We have a high stakes poker hat and a poker after dark hat available right now. Isn't that cool? A high stakes poker hat. Also, US Poker Open hat, Super High Roller Bowl, and Poker Masters. Those are also available right now in the shop. So PokerGoShop.com. Get yourself a high stakes poker hat. Represent. Show off the brand a little bit. I appreciate you guys all watching. I love the fact that we have such a great crowd here on the show every single week. And right now, of course, we're watching the Phil Ivey show.
I swear I thought I had this huge hand. Like on board.
Lex has got an open-end straight draw now.
I'm all in.
And he goes all in.
There we go.
All in, yeah.
7 high like a boss.
Dennis lays down his 9s. Phil Ivey, of course, is out.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Finally a hand for Lex after getting pushed around for a long time. Wow. Tons of people sending in their favorite World Series of Poker years. I think every single year is being named. We have John Sales saying 1998. John, let me know why you love 1998. I'm very curious to hear that. Mark C says the year Jamie Gold won the WSOP. That was in 06. Definitely one of the best years in history. Oh, who's this guy?
Easy money. Hard money, easy money.
There's our new player, Phil Locke.
Can you tell Andrew Robl, since he's not old and wise, that he's got a volume up? You see these $25,000, he's got a volume up.
I'm keeping a low profile, you know.
Low profile.
Andrew knows what he's doing.
I guess.
He tried to be.
All right, Phil Locke has entered the game. Phil Ivey has left the building after that hand where he had to fold on the turn against Lex Veldhuis. All right, final minutes. We have about 15 minutes left on the show, so send in your years of the WSOP right now. I'm collecting them all. Actually, I'm not collecting them all. I have help behind the scenes. I have someone helping me collecting all these names, and we're doing a big raffle at the end of the show. It's going to be awesome. PokerGoShop.com, face masks, hats with high-stakes poker logos, hats with Poker After Dark logos. It is all the stuff you guys as fans need to have. Actually, on that note, I need to have one of these hats. I have a huge head, so maybe it won't fit me, but I need to have one of these hats so I can show it off on the stream. That's actually something I'm going to tell my producer right now, that I need to get some hats so I can wear them on the show. Lots of shout-outs to 1997 when Stu Unger, arguably the GOAT, won the main event with those blue glasses. I love it.
Can't blame Barry for betting 8,000. Okay, another setup, Andrew. Spike it. Spike it. Ace queen. Andrew really should raise. There's a lot of possible draws out there. Barry does have one of them. Barry would make the best hand with a 9, 10, or jack. Andrew's just going to call again. No spiking.
Daniel Gardner on Facebook is asking what my biggest win is. That's a great question. I've had a few over the years, but my best one was chopping a scoop event back in, I want to say 2015 or 16. It was the Scoop 8 game. I busted Jason Mercer and Dmitry Urbanovic at the final table. That's my claim to fame. I got heads up with the chip lead. I made a deal, and I lost. So that's probably my best run. Made some more deep runs online over the years. I made a big 1K final table where I got 5th place. But yeah, I don't play all that much poker anymore, so when I do get a chance, I like to mess around in some of the smaller tournaments and have some fun with it, because cash games I am not very good at.
If Barry convinces himself that Andrew is drawing, he might raise. Barry's not convinced. There's that 9 he was looking for, and he checks it. Bad check. I don't like the way either player pretty much played this hand. Phil Locke has definitely brought down the level of play at this table. He's probably turning to Jennifer right now. Why does he always say things about me?
Benson is asking, who is your pound for pound best poker player right now? That is an impossible question to answer, Benson. I wish I had a good answer for you. I know Steven Chidwick gets mentioned a lot, but I only really follow the tournament scene very well because of all the big events we have on PokerGo. So I can't really speak for cash games, but clearly some of the most technically skilled players in the world are cash game players because they're used to playing those deep stacks. So if you ask me, I'd still probably go Steven Chidwick. I'm not sure if that's still accurate, but I think he's definitely way up there.
Well, he only wants to.
Thanks for watching, by the way, Daniel. I appreciate you joining us here in the chat.
So once again, Phil Locke's out of line.
Oh, yeah. John Sale says 1998 Scotty win was per class. If you call, it's going to be all over, baby. I wish I had a beer, but I don't. But this is what he did.
And now Tom Dwan is serving.
What are you guys drinking at home? I'm having water. Topo Chico, my favorite one. I'm not sponsored, but if you guys are watching, please sponsor the show. I'd love that. Yeah, what are we drinking tonight? Is it coffee time? I think Australia is coffee time right now, but I think that in most places in the world, it's definitely time for a beverage of some different kind.
No spiking. Another opportunity to spike. Dennis Phillips with the jacks. As Keith Jackson would say, well, now it's up to the veteran, Dennis Phillips. Oh, he leaves his feet. He's way high up in the air. Here comes that volleyball spiked by Phillips.
Boom, 30K.
Oh, Nelly, 30,500. Barry's a little surprised. He didn't expect this. He knows that Dennis Phillips has not raised this much pre-flop ever. He knows Dennis Phillips has a pair. His question is it a bigger pair than mine? Wow. He's going to take the shot, 125,000.
Yeah, a little something too.
Wow, big action.
First big raise I've made all night.
Dennis confirming what we just said.
Huh. Crazy spot here. All right, let's play this game again. If you are Dennis Phillips in this spot, and if you've been watching the show, neither Phillips nor Greenstein has been very aggressive. So what do we do here? Do jacks go in the muck easily? Is it a painful fold? Are you still going for it? Because Barry could have ace-king. You know, probably also the only hand that you really beat. I don't see him doing this with tens. So is Barry's range ace-queen, aces, kings, and queens? Are those the only hands he can have? Let me know in the chat. What do you think? Easy fold for Phillips? I know we know the cards. I wish I could like cover them for you guys. But yeah.
Barry's very comfortable now.
You want to put $100 up? Yeah, I bet you do.
He knows Dennis probably has tens or jacks. Small chance he's got ace-king.
There he goes.
Good hand.
See this? You don't respect this?
That was a weird hand. I had a hand too.
I had a hand.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
I was playing with you. He didn't.
Cool. Probably with the worst of the three.
You were?
Said probably the worst of the three.
Wow. Big one for Barry there before the flop. Let's see. Manuel says, I fold. I play jacks like sevens. Interesting theory there. Nahum says, easy fold against the man. Easy fold tells you the guy either has aces, says Sal. Interesting. Some interesting thoughts here. I do love the fact that we all agree because we can see the cards.
Of course I had 3 aces.
High Stakes Poker coming back for Season 8. It is happening on December 16th, exclusively on PokerGo. High Stakes Poker coming back. It's going to be awesome. I already know a little more than you guys know. It's going to be epic. Don't forget to check out the shop, PokerGoShop.com. That's where you get all your PokerGo merch. We have High Stakes Poker hats, Poker After Dark hats, US Poker Open, Super High Roller Bowl, and Poker Masters. So support your favorite event or your favorite cash game. Wear the merch and tweet at us. Tweet at us at PokerGo of yourself wearing the new merch. I'd love that, honestly, if you do that. I appreciate that a lot. And I'll give you a shout out on the show if you do.
Oh, no, the straight came on a river, so it was...
All right, I feel like this is a good time to announce the winners of the show. Let me go and over to my sheet and see what the random generator came up with. All right, the winners of the hoodies today are Alexander James Ratliff and Brian Barnett. So, gents, we'll be reaching out and sending you guys 2 hoodies. Alexander James Ratliff and Brian Barnett. So if that's your name, if you're still watching, that's the winners for the hoodies for this week, and we'll do it again next week. So appreciate you all watching. It's great to have such an awesome crowd on the show as we have multi-way action once again here.
Patrick.
This is a pretty close match.
2 flush draws are going to see the turn.
Dr. Antonius, can you break that?
Well, that's the end of one of those flush draws. But Daniel's still going to represent that he has something here and bet 15-8. Daniel doesn't know it, but he actually has the best hand. Tom Dwan is probably putting Daniel on a weak ace and wondering if he raises, will Daniel call? Decides not to take the chance. He just calls a 15-8. Dwan's looking for a spade. If it doesn't come, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. No spade. Check from Daniel.
I really think I'm winning.
Yeah, that's probably winning then.
I have a 10.
What? 10. Am I? No, I get the king. The king.
I'm so bad.
I was just, yeah.
I'm so bad. It's such an easy
Wait,
bluff.
is I guess like 40,000 sitting out there, just asking to be picked up?
I was so sure I was winning.
Or this time. I'll get you. Here, you know what? Here,
3?
take that.
I think Tom Dwan was putting Daniel on 6-7.
Wow.
My hand or his?
If you were so sure, you should just bat and then call it check raise.
I'm like, that's not an ace. What the hell does he have? I'm like, maybe the king's good.
Apologizing for my stake in the whole matter.
I'm let off the hook. I'm under the gun. There's 74 people in there, and I don't have an ace.
Phil trying to explain his play to Barry on that last hand.
He kicks in. Volatility is my friend.
Phil Lock didn't come here to play. He came here to get TV time.
Discipline.
This is number 4.
It's so hard. There's only a few hands left.
All right, where's... You guys want
No.
This is our last hand with this group.
55.
All right, last hand of the night, guys.
Oh, really?
And Barry's going to set it up again.
Now I'll give him 10K.
I'm pretty sure they're
Last chance to spike for the evening.
Okay.
Before we dive into this last hand of the night, let me also remind you guys that we have a promo code for PokerGo. It is HSP2020 to save $10 off your subscription. So use the promo code HSP2020 to take $10 off your PokerGo subscription. We are bringing High Stakes Poker back. It is going to be launched December 16th, the first episode. We have 26 new episodes coming. We have new episodes as well coming of Poker After Dark. We have all 7 seasons of High Stakes Poker available for you right now, as well as the entire archive of the World Series of Poker at your fingertips. So if you are a poker fan, you should be a PokerGo subscriber. And if you are a PokerGo subscriber, you should go to PokerGoShop.com to check out the new merch, because we have new merch, and the coolest part about the new merch is the High Stakes Poker and Poker After Dark hats. So that's all I wanted to say as we dive into the final hand of the night.
They were, I wouldn't have this much money on that.
Thanks.
Patrick's going to call.
Thanks, John.
Daniel has a straddle. Daniel could raise with this hand here. But he's just going to call. And this group's going to see their last flop.
Wow.
Well, the funny thing is that they put it up
Well,
on the clock. And somebody
Now it comes down to who wants it the most.
The prize pool's not right.
I mean, he must not have done it every single time. He must have
Bing, blang, blow. Barry wants it now.
Easy money.
Yeah, I can't imagine someone just starting off and doing 18.
18, get out of the gate. They're like 300.
Bling, blang, blay. Patrick's gone away. Bing, bang, blim. Daniel's joining him. Last hand of the night to Barry Greenstein.
All right, there you have it. All right, what do we got next week?
Next time on High Stakes Poker, the wildest lineup yet crashes the Golden Nugget for a session full of fireworks.
Nice play, Doyle.
The day is young.
She gave him the
As Granddaddy Doyle tells the mouth to shut it.
Tell him you can't shut up till the end of the show.
like.
Sound like Phil only.
Just admit you're a little scared.
Tom Dwan faces a new challenge.
Tom Dwan, you don't need much to beat him.
And Negreanu's luck keeps moving in the wrong direction.
Any ace will do it.
All right, that is the end of this week's Run It Back. Thank you all so much for watching. Next week, Tuesday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss out. We'll be back with this show. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. And don't miss the next episode of Run It Back. Check out PokerGoShop.com to check out the new High Stakes Poker hats that we have available. The season is coming, or the new season is coming, Season 8, December 16th, exclusively on PokerGo. Use that promo code HSP2020 to take $10 off your subscription if you are a new subscriber to the show. Otherwise, I'd like to see some hats in the Twitter feed. So send me those selfies of you wearing one of our new hats, our new merch. I really appreciate it. Once again, thanks to everyone in the chat tonight. I really love the interactions with you guys. Tyrone says, I need a hoodie, dude. Well, come back next week, Tyrone, because we're giving away 2 hoodies again on Tuesday. So don't miss out. Thank you all so much for watching. Drop a comment below if you have any suggestions for who should be a guest on the show, because I'd love to hear from you guys, and I'd love to make sure that I get all the favorite players on this show. For now, this was Run It Back, and I'll catch you guys on Thursday.